What's going on, Jerome's? Happy Valentine's Day out there to those who celebrate. And something I love is the stupid effort team. It is what it is. Also, something I love is keeping up with former players and coaches that go around the league, and one of our favorites, Andre Patterson, has been defensive line coach for the Giants for quite a while, since parting ways with the Vikings 2 years ago, and he's done really good work with Kayvon Thibodeau, etc. But with Mike Zimmer, his guy, now in charge of the defense in Dallas, there have been some thoughts like, hey, maybe Zimmer gets the band back together, but Dre unfortunately won't be joining him this year at least. Schefter, go. The Giants. So Zimmer finally signed his contract because there have been rumors like, oh, there's a holdup with the contract, and then what about Rex Ryan? But Schefter, go. And the Giants now have denied the Cowboys' request for permission to meet with their defensive line coach, Andre Patterson, who was the defensive line coach and co-defensive coordinator in Minnesota under Mike Zimmer. It says baloney. Like, this is just because the Giants are in the division with the Cowboys and they just want to stick it to them a little bit. Like, this isn't because, hey, if they do this, Dre better get a raise. So that's all I'm saying, man. So, Zimmer unfortunately won't be reuniting with Patterson this year, but who knows? Maybe next year. Maybe next year, because Zimmer, a bajillion 1,000%, is getting the interim head coaching job after Mike McCarthy gets fired. So maybe next year he can hire Patterson as his DC again. It's going to be good times. Someone who won't be coaching with Mike Zimmer for reasons is Sharrif Floyd. So Sharrif... really sucks about Sharrif. So Sharrif was a Vikings first-round pick in 2013. Coming out of Florida, the whole short, squatty, undersized 3-tech, that quick first step, blowing up that gap and just getting after it, that quick penetration. And he was going to be good, man. Like, he was going to be Zimmer's Geno Atkins in this defense. And also, that was the year that the Vikings had 3 first-round picks. So Xavier Rhodes, pretty good. Sharrif Floyd would have been good except for the injury. And then Cordero Patterson, he's the greatest kick returner of all time, and also would have been a lot of fun on offense if they would have freaking used him. But I digress. And what's sad about Sharrif, so Sharrif had a couple of injuries, and then he had a surgery that was actually botched, and it cost him the rest of his career. Sharif's only 32. Sharrif should still be in the league. Sharrif should still be a Viking. It's tough, man. But got into coaching last year, and all right, so rap sheet, go. The Commanders are hiring Cowboys assistant Sharrif Floyd as their assistant defensive line coach, as the former standout Vikings defensive tackle continues to work his way up. Floyd was with Dan Quinn in Dallas. So, Sharrif was like a defensive quality control guy, just a sort of a catch-all defensive assistant with the Cowboys last year. And with Zimmer taking over the Dallas job, you're thinking, oh, one of Zimmer's guys, maybe he'll stay there. No. There's still a little bit of bad blood and hurt feelings between Zimmer and Sharrif. It's kind of funny. It is kind of funny, but Sharrif going to Washington. Ooh, gonna do some great things with Deron Payne and company. Kind of like that, man. Maybe Danielle. Some better news. So Nick Muse. This is good. So someone tweeted at Nick Muse, hey, this person is impersonating you on Facebook and trying to scam ladies out of money. So this is really stupid. First off, I feel like if you fall for a catfish, I feel like you kind of deserve to be scammed. I mean, not a lot, right? And of course, they target elderly people, especially. It's like, Steve Harvey's on the Facebook, and it says that I need to send him an iTunes gift card, so I should probably do that. But again, I feel like, oh my God, Drake is messaging me on Facebook, on the Facebook. Yeah. I feel like he just going to be scammed a little bit. Anyways, but apparently someone was posing as Nick Muse. I don't know, man. Like, if your Facebook profile just has stock photos of you from like Getty Images of game day, I question. But apparently this guy's asking for like cash and all that stuff. But Nick Muse, please report. I do need a sugar mama, but I would never scam anyone. I need this page taken down ASAP. So Nick Muse, low key hilarious. Like when the Vikings do those riddle videos, he's hilarious. He chugs beer. Like when the tight ends went to that wild game and stuff. And Muse, I mean, 7th round guy, made his 450K base salary in 2022. Was on the practice squad last year. So I mean, he's got some cash, but it's not life changing money. So I mean, maybe he does need a sugar mama. I mean, maybe we can work this thing out. Although, with Hockenson probably starting the year on the pup, I mean, Nick Muse, your company's computer guy, the pride of South Carolina, could raise up and help the Vikings a little bit while Hawkinson's up on blocks. So there you go. Some of the Vikings need help and is quarterback of the future. Even if Kirk's back, I think the Vikings could and should make an aggressive move to find their quarterback of the future, whether sticking and picking, trading up, trading in, trading whatever. But there's always some differences of opinion on who is quarterback one, who's quarterback two. So Kurt Benkert, former Packers jabroni, turned into a film guru, does really fantastic work. I think he's up there with JT O'Sullivan. I know our guy Kyle Sluter's been putting in some work as well. He's been really good. But he ranked Caleb Williams as quarterback two, strictly off of film. So strictly film, not taking into account all the other ancillary stuff. So he has Caleb Williams as quarterback two. His quarterback one, Jayden Daniels. That's right, babe. We're the pride of LSU, Skull SU, the Heisman Trophy winner, true blue, dynamic, dual threat. And I feel like people are sort of sleeping on him. I really do. Where, yes, Drake May and Caleb Williams get all the hype, and they're seen as 1-2-1-2. But I mean, there's even talk about McCarthy going ahead of Daniels, maybe even, maybe Penix, Nix, whatever. But I feel like I'm in on Jayden Daniels, a little bit older of a prospect, but dynamic with the feet, throws ball on the move, in rhythm, throws a great deep ball. Doesn't need to work on some mechanical stuff, but I feel like he can be a potential game changer. Plus, the moment's not too big for him playing in the big bad SEC West. Man, I mean, I'm so mad. Like, I'm in love. Not gonna lie, I am in love. I'm good to go. He already looks good in purple and gold. You know that JJ would be down to clown with them. They're seen together at a couple Super Bowl parties over the weekend. It's great. It's great. It's meant to be, man. And speaking of Louisiana, so again, it's set up, man. It's a conspiracy. So purple and gold. People say it's like greenish, like Seahawks, neon greenish. No, it is red and yellow in the logo for the Chiefs, and is purple and yellow in the rest of the logo for the Vikings, and it is set. The date is set, February next year in the Superdome. Exercising the demons of, Favre and Bountygate, that whole thing. But JJ also, the colors are in there. The white, the purple, the yellow, LSU, Skull SU, JJ and Jayden Daniels and Danielle Hunter, and carry on my J-Word son and Ed Ingram, and they're going to get it done, man. Absolutely going to get it done. Can't wait. Yeah. Vikings stop the three-peat. There we go. All right, so a lot of names have been bandied about in terms of if the Vikings don't re-sign Kirk Cousins, and yes, quarterback of the future in the draft makes sense, but also some veteran bridge quarterbacks could be out there, and Sam Darnold's been a name that's bandied about. All right, so Mac Jones. I'm sort of torn on Mac Jones. So I'm sure he could be had in trade for very cheap, probably like a 6th or 7th round pick, maybe even a future 7th rounder, since the Vikings don't technically have a 7th rounder right now. But a new regime in New England, seems like Mac Jones fell out of favor with Belichick and company. So I think he's going to be hitting the road. And I'm not down. I'm not down on Mac Jones, where I feel like, yeah, he had a decent rookie year, made the playoffs and all that stuff. But I feel like there's just been so many cracks where he's arguing with coaches, he's arguing with teammates, he's being dirty. There's several instances out there with him on the field. I just don't like it. And it'd be one thing if he had a rocket arm. Because maybe it's like Jeff George, because Jeff George was a bit of an aloof a-hole, but people put up with him because he could throw that ball over the mountains. But with Mac Jones, so you have a weak-armed, poor leader who can't be coached. But other than that, he's really, really good. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, no. No. Something, yes. So there were so many good memes about, Kelsey arguing and bumping Andy Reid on sideline. Also, apparently, obviously, Kelsey was mic'd up for the Super Bowl, so I can't wait till that audio drops on Inside the NFL. It's going to be great. I want to hear it. It's probably like, I'm good. Why'd you take me out? But our meme is, the Vikings would have won the division if Kirk's Achilles didn't pop, lock, and drop it. 100%. I mean, that first Lions game, take care of the football a little bit more. I think Kirk wins that game. A bajillion percent. I think Kirk wins that game, first game against the Lions. And also, I don't have the 2023 schedule up for fine. We don't have to rehash things, but I think that the Vikings win in Denver. They beat Chicago. They have more than 10 freaking points of offense. They don't give it away against Cincinnati. It's just what could have been. What could have been, man. Yeah. And also, the thing I hate most about 2023, besides all the injuries, is that the 7-10, people are like, 13-4 was a fluke. Not even taking into account, hey, you had JJ gone for 7.5 games, and also Kirk was gone midseason. Yeah, don't factor that in at all. Also, Murphy Jr. being out the last 3 games of the year really, really hurt that defense, man. It was rough. Speaking of Kirk, though, so sometimes I feel like people put out really stupid hot takes just for engagement because then people talk about them, and that's exactly what happens, man. So the 33rd team, Derek Clausen, guru over there, he put out 2024 offseason quarterback power rankings, and if you look at the engagement, like it's mostly quote tweets, so that's usually a bad sign, but I don't know. Cousins at 13, I feel like is both too high and too low. So the list, Mahomes, agree. Lamar Jackson 2, Josh Allen 3, Herbert 4. I think Burrow's way too low. I get he's coming off an injury, but he's still Joe freaking Burrow, man. So people had issue with Stafford ahead of Dak. Stafford's light years ahead of Dak. I'll take Stafford every single day, twice on Sunday. Stroud ahead of. I mean, how is Joe Burrow behind Trevor Lawrence? I mean, Trevor Lawrence has a lot of issues, and they're starting to come to the forefront. And Stroud up there. I mean, I love Stroud, but how do you not have Burrow top 5? I don't get that. But Cousins should be ahead of Geno, should be ahead of Kyler. I mean, Jordan Love, I mean, I would understand if you have him up there based off of one half of one season. Sure. And then you look at the rest. I mean, Goof. I get why Cousins is ahead of Goof. I'm kind of shocked he's ahead of Rodgers because usually he gets the time of day. Richardson only played a fistful of games before he got hurt, but I think that he could truly be a game changer for Indianapolis. Jalen Hurts fell like a rock. I mean, if this was taken week 11, I mean, Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy are probably in the top 5. But I feel like the pendulum swing, the market recorrection on Brock Purdy swung too hard. I think Purdy's probably in that Jared Goff, Geno type range, so early teens. Yeah. Oh, he also looks like an early teen. So Baker at 20. I mean, how is Tua that low? Tua was in the MVP conversation until the end of the year. How is Fields 21? I don't get it, man. Also, Bryce Young 25. Blah. Watson rough. Ritter rough. Levis no. Howell sure. So I mean, the rest of the list I generally agree with, but I would put Kirk about 10ish. I would put Purdy and Hurts in the early teens. I would drop Lawrence down behind everyone. Tua would be up higher, but yeah. Hell, maybe we should do our own power rankings. That's what we always say. And lastly, so a little bit of complaining. So the wife and I love Top Chef. It's one of our favorite shows, right? And we're just waiting for the day. Oh, Lordy. Waiting for the day that they're going to come here to the Twin Cities because, I mean, Minneapolis, St. Paul, it's a great culinary capital. You have great restaurants, you have great farmers markets, and you got a lot of creativity here. Gavin Kaysen, Andrew Zimmer, Justin Sutherland, who was a contestant on Top Chef. It's fantastic, right? But for some unknown reason, season 21 will be taking place in Wisconsin. And this is only the second season that's in the Midwest. Season 4 was in Chicago. And why they picked Wisconsin, I don't know. Like, I understand cheese, and they got cranberries up north. That's it. So the primary cities are Door County, which is gorgeous. They're doing Madison and Milwaukee, which is basically just North Chicago, right? And I don't know. I may boycott this season just out of protest because how do you not pick the Twin Cities? Or at minimum, how do you pick Wisconsin over Minnesota? It's just ridiculous, man. Also, Padma's gone. It's my girl. But Kristen Kisha will be phenomenal. Tom's getting old, man. It is what it is. And Gail, I love Gail. She's fantastic. But yeah, Top Chef, I'm sure it'll be good. I can't wait for the Culver's Butter Burger Challenge and the pairing with Leinenkugels and the, I don't know, Quick Trip Aisle Trial Challenge. I don't know, man. I don't know. It just, my head hurts sometimes. There'll probably be like 2 or 3 challenges with venison, which I'm kind of okay with. And one of the elimination challenges will be cooking after a meat raffle. So, that's exactly what's going to happen. So they're going to have a meat raffle at like a dive bar in Wisconsin, and they're going to have an elimination cooking challenge, and they have to cook whatever they win in the meat raffle, and they have to pair it with a very good Bloody Mary. I'll give Wisconsin that. Wisconsin-ass dive bars make really good Bloody Marys, paired with like a Shorty Miller High Life. That's what it's going to be. I hate everything. Anyways, I love you guys, especially on this day of love. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull, production value.